What's up, guys? Welcome to episode 72. We're doing what we do several times this year, what we've done several times this year, and that is to split this episode in half. I'm getting ready to move this week, so we've had to split this episode. We're going to first talk about some recent news and also what we've played this week, and then next week you'll hear more about our summer gaming plans. So thanks for bearing with us as we try to make sure you have an episode every single week. Thanks for listening. Here we go with episode 72.
Oh, I'll be sorry for now that I couldn't be around. There will be a day that you will understand.
Shout out to Daniel Freitas. It's my favorite song, Daniel Freitas. I hate your last name, by the way. Freitas, that's stupid. Not Linkin Park, but your last name is stupid. You understand.
Who is your daddy? I am your father.
You fathers will understand.
My father taught me many things.
I got an idea. How about you all sit there quietly while I make dad noises?
What a touching tribute to open the show there to Daniel. I hope he appreciates it as much as I did. What a beautiful song.
It really was.
Yeah. It's a beautiful song.
I wish the song was called Sorry Not Sorry, but it's not. It's just sorry for now.
But it's not. Yep. Yeah, well, let me tell you something that I learned this past week. I learned a couple of things, but the biggest thing that I learned is that not only am I forgetful, and I'm sure you'll mention that later, but I am bad at airports. So let me tell you what happened to me on the way home. I flew out to San Jose this past week for a work trip, coworker and myself, and not someone that's part of the group, so you guys don't know him. But anyway, so we flew out there, spent a couple days, got to do some cool things and be in some cool meetings and stuff. On the way home, we got to the airport like an hour and a half early. Everything was looking great, and we decided we were hungry, so we were looking at the different restaurants on the airport website. And they were mostly local places, and we didn't know anything about them until we saw Smash Burger. We both like Smash Burger. Mm-hmm. That's a big chain. It's all over the place. But it was down one terminal over, and we were like, hey, we got plenty of time. Let's go get some Smash Burger. So we go over there, wait in line, get our food, and then on the way back, my coworker notices that there is a pub on the way back, and he's like, hey, we still have an hour and 20 minutes. Do you want to stop and get a drink? I was like, sure. That sounds like a great idea. So we stopped, and we got a drink. I said yes because he said it was his treat, so it's very nice.
Nice.
So we're sitting there. We talked for a while. We were looking at the airline website to see what movies were playing. I was planning on watching Assassin's Creed, since I was going to play on the way back. And then we got up. We were like, hey, we got like 20 minutes till the flight leaves. We better get over there. So we walk over there. We get there at 14 minutes before the flight is scheduled to depart. And as we walk up to the gate, the runway is disconnecting from the plane. They've already closed the doors.
Ooh.
Everyone's already boarded. They're already on there. And so keep in mind, we had just downed not huge beers, and they weren't really strong, but just enough to give us both a little bit of a buzz. We were both really hungry, and we're both standing there really confused, and we're both kind of like, what? Can they reattach it? Can they come back? Like we were really confused as to what happened. Turns out, right there on our boarding pass, it says boarding ends at 5:35, and the plane is going to leave at 5:50. So we got there 1 minute too late. We got there at 5:36, literally 1 minute too late after their boarding was scheduled to end. So it's our fault. But there we were stuck in San Jose, no more flights back to Denver. And what we had to do was we had to overpay really, an Uber driver to take us up to the San Francisco airport, like 45 minutes away, and then fly from there to Denver. Thankfully, we got tickets transferred over. But we felt absolutely ridiculous. We felt really stupid. And suffice to say, my wife gave me a lot of grief about it. Like, what a waste of time and Uber money, apparently. She's right. So I am bad at airports, apparently. I thought I had plenty of time. I've traveled a lot before. I failed miserably. So there you go. There's my failing at airport story.
Well, I mean, I'm happy for you. Your misery is my happiness, so I'm happy for you.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it wasn't the worst thing in the world. We got to get home that night, but yeah, it was really annoying.
Did you
We felt really
enjoy
dumb,
your
but
Switch without its charger?
I enjoyed it for about 3.5 hours.
You didn't buy another charger cheap, Tim, did you?
I went to Walmart
Mm-hmm.
I went to Walmart and they didn't have one.
Mm.
I even had the clueless Walmart guy walk over to the case with all the accessories, and I assumed of all the accessories that one would be there, but they didn't even have an empty rack for it. They didn't even seem to have it at all. And yeah, that was my only shot at it. It's not like I didn't have a lot of time to go shopping. I didn't have time to look for a Best Buy or a GameStop. There was a Walmart right near our hotel, so I went to that. No luck. So I was stuck playing my phone like an animal.
Nice.
Yeah. So anyway, all that to say, it was an interesting week. Yes, I forgot my Switch charger, but I quickly got over it. It was funny, though. On the way there, I played a lot of Mario Kart, a little bit of Zelda, but I played a lot of Mario Kart, and the guy beside me had kind of, shrunk down into his chair, and he was really sinking in trying to sleep. And he kept readjusting and moving. He's one of those guys who just couldn't get comfortable. And I'm just sitting there playing. I was in the middle seat with two guys on either side of me. And as soon as he kind of glanced and saw what I was doing, he sat straight up in his chair and just watched over my shoulder for like the next 30 minutes. He's just like staring at my screen. Part of me wanted to be like, hey, I got a second controller here, let's play. But he had been annoying me most of the flight by moving so much and bumping into me, trying to readjust. I didn't offer it. Does that mean I didn't offer it?
I wouldn't have offered it, but it wouldn't have been because he was bumping me. It's just because I wouldn't have wanted to share.
You just don't like people. I gotcha.
Yeah.
I follow you.
Yeah, I was having that conversation with my daughter like last night. We were talking. I think we were talking about like how. We went to the gym. Me, Ian, and Emily. And on the way back, we were talking about how Ian's a lot more like his mom, and Emily's like, "Well, I'm a mix, right?" And I'm like, "Yeah, but you're definitely more me." Yeah, because I hate people. I'm like, no, don't say that. I don't hate people. I just don't like them, but I do like them. So it's weird. And she's like, yeah, I really don't. I don't like anybody. I don't want to talk to anybody. I'm like, oh, God. You are my daughter. So.
It's not all people. It's just most people. I don't see what the big deal
Well,
is.
I always hated, like, when people, because, it's to be cool or whatever, and, like, I hate everybody. I might use that joke every once in a while, but I hate when people say that, like, out of sincerity. They'll be like, I hate everybody. I'm like, I don't hate everybody. I just don't. I don't like being around a lot of people. I prefer, if I have to be around people, that it's like one or two. I don't like group settings. I don't like, especially going in places where I don't know anybody or maybe only know one other person. Like if it's me and my wife and she's the only one I know, I like latch to her. Like I'm like her little like side doll or something. Like I won't leave her side.
Kind of hiding behind her a little bit.
Yeah. And truth is, and this is probably why I'm a youth pastor and I like coaching kids and stuff like that. I always latch on to kids. So like if it's like a big party and there's kids there, I usually leave the adult room and go hang out with the kids, not in a creepy way, but just like I feel more comfortable and I connect with them better than I do with adults because I find most adults annoying. So
yeah,
that was my story time.
There you go. Nice. No, that makes sense. I mean, adults can be super boring, so I don't blame you. I can confirm that hanging out with a bunch of people that you don't really know for 2 days straight, going to dinner and lunch and everybody with this big group of people at this conference thing we were at. After a while, it was like, I miss my 5 crazy, wacky, exhausting kids, I needed to get back to that crowd. That's my crowd.
Yep.
So anyway, all right, let's talk about some stuff we've been playing. Even though I did travel for a few days this week, I was able to knock out the rest of Mad Max.
Nice.
So I won't talk too much more about that. I feel like I've done enough to trumpet how much that game is. To me, it's a solid 8, maybe close to 8.5 out of 10 when it's all said and done. Probably more like 8. There's enough repetitiveness and maybe a little glitchiness here and there that it keeps it from being truly great. But, man, it is really, really good. And so I really liked Mad Max. It's got a classic Mad Max story. Not super uplifting, but, man, it's really cool. And I liked it a lot. And then I played about an hour, maybe close to 90 minutes of Prey.
Okay.
And got bored. I got real bored real fast.
It was another great buy by me, by the way. What was the other game I bought? I bought Mirror's Edge because I was like,
Mirror's
it's open
Edge,
world.
Yeah.
I think I'll like it. And I like played 10 minutes and I was like, I hate this game. And not hate it like it's a bad game. Like I'm just like, I don't want to play this. And that's exactly how I was with Prey. I pre-ordered Prey like 3 months ago. I played the demo for like 20 minutes. I was like, I don't know if I'm going to like this. And then it released and I'm like, I don't want to play it. Every time I like hovered over it. No, we don't touch that.
Where's the Wi-Fi password?
It's on the side.
Where?
That's Emily.
Side of what? Can you just tell me?
Dude, bro.
Be quiet.
It's on the
Tell
side.
me.
Sweetie, it's on the side.
Oh my god. Mom, where's the paper?
Tell her you can't announce it to
what?
the podcast world.
Oh, shit. Oh, whoa, losing power. Oh, didn't pay my bill. We have a storm outside, so my lights keep flickering. I'm like, gosh. Okay, now.
I thought that was her trying to get your attention.
It could. She was going into a rage because her mom. I just heard her mom say, "Emily, you just lost your phone." So.
Oh,
Yeah.
all right. That's painful. That is painful.
She moused off a little bit.
No, so what I was going to say about Prey was that it gets compared to BioShock a lot for good reason. After an hour of playing, I can see some of the similarities. It gets compared to Dishonored, again, for good reason. It's the same developers, I think, right, as Dishonored.
Yeah. Arcane
so
Studio.
I see the connection between both. It's just nowhere near as good as either one. So, yeah, you get a wrench to start things out like you described last week. But I just wasn't digging the vibe. I wasn't digging just the overall premise. I know there's more to it. I've been told by a few people that, hey, it gets better. Stick with it. I just don't think I want to. It's funny. There's games like Mass Effect Andromeda that I started, but it was because I had another game going that I didn't keep digging. But, man, that game really kind of intrigued me at the outset. Like, I really want to play that. And I've heard people talk amazing things about Andromeda, so I want to play it.
That's
Prey
why I was
is
gonna
the opposite.
say. I was gonna say to you, if you want to play Prey later, play it when you're in the mood. But I would say, with all the games, like you started Neo, you started Mass Effect, all these games that you're like, I kind of like it. That one's pretty good. It's pretty good. But I'm doing something else right now. Why don't you just go to them? Go to something that from the get-go you liked. That doesn't mean Prey is a bad game. And again, I'm not going to critique it because I, again, this week did not play it. So I've yet to play Prey. But I do think Prey, when I get around to actually getting in the mood for a first-person shooter where it's kind of like horror-ish, and I kind of hated the fact that I kept hearing people like say it takes 20 to 40 hours. I'm like, not in the mood for that. I kind of wanted like a 12-hour, like Doom. Doom took, 12 hours to beat? That was fun. It was action-packed. It was nonstop. Yeah. Not a lot of thinking. Sure, there was times where I was like, where's this stupid key card? But overall, you just kept moving around, killing things. I kind of wanted that, and I knew Prey wasn't going to be that. I'm saying that would be what I'd be more in the mood for than something like Prey where I've heard it's very big. Like, there's a lot to do. Like, there's a lot of side quests. I'm like, no, I don't want that. So I would suggest you
part of
play
it is
something
the
else.
enemies that they've introduced so far. And I won't say too much in case you want to play it. You know, there's some twists at the beginning to kind of give you a reason to keep playing. I'm not saying it's bad. It just didn't get me, I guess. But the enemies they introduced at the beginning, the real basic level enemies that you got to fight, I just found to be really annoying. And they kept trying to give me jump scares that I don't really think they were working. And so it was almost more annoying than anything else. So I just wasn't in the mood for that kind of
I heard
vibe.
that the jump scares are ruined by the fact that I think like the music starts playing when you walk in a room where there is one of those things.
Yeah,
so
the
when
music
you
does shift.
Yeah, so when you go in the
does.
room, you're like, oh, I know one of them's in here. I just need to
that is
blow
true
everything
even
up.
towards the beginning.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, that's pretty clear towards the beginning too. But anyway, Prey is what it is. It's one of those. I mean, we put it as the banner for our Facebook group. I fully expected to really jump into it and love it, you know, knowing that I love Dishonored. But you know what it was? I think part of me was like, hey, if I'm going to play an Arcane Studios game, I'd rather go play Dishonored 2 that I skipped. You know, I'd rather go back and play that. But anyway, it is what it is. I don't think I'm going to keep playing that. I'm actually seriously considering playing Nier instead. Because I keep seeing people talk about Nier, and I want to be able to give it a great evaluation for when it's time to talk Game of the Year stuff. I think now's a good time, as people are still kind of on the tail end of playing Nier. I feel like that's a good one to try. So maybe I'll play some Nier.
I did jump back into Nier. I played about an hour, so I'm about 3.5 hours into it. It's not one of the main games I played this week, but it is good. I like the world. I did spend 45 minutes out of the hour that I played it taking crotch shots. Like I was having her jump up, jump in the sky, and then come down on her arms with her legs open, and I was like, share.
You know, the last time I did something like that, I believe I was about 12 years old, and we were playing Street Fighter 2 and trying to get Chun-Li to do these high kicks, and we were trying to pause it right then.
Yeah.
And anytime after that, I had too much shame to do something so juvenile.
No shame at all.
So
In fact, that's what Jesse said. He's like, Derek's literally 12 years old. I'm like, yeah, pretty much. I did, and I was like, it
He's
took
not
skill,
wrong.
dude. It took skill to get those shots because it's not like the game pauses is like, hey, here's our area. You have to.
Are
Like,
you really trying to get me to be impressed by your photo
Yes.
skills? And oh my
Yes,
gosh.
the timing was amazing. I got some great shots. So,
Yeah,
it's a
sure.
10 out of 10 for crotch shots. I'll give it that.
All right. Well, I'm planning on playing it. I'm not sure that's going to be the main goal
That's
for me.
fine.
But
Now
I was
that your
also
wife is in the group, I'm going to tag her and you on all my crotch shots.
oh my gosh. Like, Katie, look at this. Look what happens in this group.
This is awesome. Tim
Tim
loves
has
these
lost
shots.
control.
Tim
Tim
has
has
this
lost
as his
control of his group.
Tim has this on the background of his phone. Katie, check this out.
Oh man, you're gonna get me in trouble. All right. So we also, I also played one other game. I just bought it last night, and I'm now in World 4 out of 9 of Thumper. Now I know you're gonna scoff at Thumper because it's a smaller developed game, smaller development team. Made this game. It was on PS4 and I think VR. I think it looks like it could be a
I think so.
yeah, and PC. This game is super cool. I only recommend it for one type of gamer, and that is anyone who likes rhythm games. And I'm talking really challenging. You have to hit the button on the exact moment type of rhythm. It's not that it plays along to a song, although as you hit the button, you realize you are hitting these obstacles kind of on beat with the background. It's very drum heavy, very bass heavy. But it's not a song where it's not a game where you have to learn the song and then hit the buttons in the right way. It's very much a reflex, incredibly quick twitch type of a game. And it's really good. I don't know that it's worth $20 for everybody. It was worth $20 for me because it's so much fun. I know it was already on the PS4 and the PC. So yeah, I could have got it on PS4. But something about being able to take it right out of the dock while I'm on TV mode and then sit there on the recliner while the kids watch Netflix and keep playing was awesome. And I love it. It runs super smoothly. It's got tons of colors and movement on the screen. There's not a lot of variety to all of it, but it's very trippy. I recommend it if you like rhythm style and kind of like quick reaction style games. I think it's worth a shot. So, but not for everybody. It doesn't feel like a indie game. It just feels like a puzzle game or a rhythm game. It's really high quality, high production value. So,
I believe my exact quote to your post was "Trash is trash." So
yeah.
that's exactly how I feel about that game. I don't even need to play it. I already know what it is. It's trash.
Have you even seen videos of it or anything? See what it looks like?
I think when I stupidly bought a VR, I think I checked out all the VR games, and that is one of the games that I was like, oh, what's this? Oh, never mind. It's dumb. So
Well,
no, I know what you're talking about, but
you're
no.
dumb.
So enough with Thumper. I have no continuing gameplay of. I have not continued playing The Witcher or Zelda this week. I actually have not, again, gamed a lot. I've been very busy, and I've been watching movies. I finally watched Logan. What the heck is... Hold on a second. My computer's like... It's all this porn. Just kidding. I'm getting like all these pop-ups. Like, one said you got to restart your computer now, and then another one's telling me I got to update these files. All right. So anyways, I have not played Zelda or The Witcher 3, but I did watch Logan, and I think Logan was hurt by all the hype. I'm not going to bash it or anything. I think it's something I need to rewatch, but I didn't love it as much as everybody else. I thought it was okay. I expected... I think it was the hype. I expected more. I expected better action scenes. I expected more of them. But overall, I did enjoy the movie. I thought it was pretty good. I did watch Jack Reacher's newest movie. I thought that was pretty lame. I liked the first one, but the second one was pretty lame. So I've been watching movies. I did start, though... Injustice 2 came out on Tuesday. So I picked up 2 games on Tuesdays. I picked up Injustice 2, and I picked up The Surge. I started Injustice 2. I think it's a really, really good game. Like, I haven't played it a lot.
For anyone who maybe doesn't know what it is, Injustice 2 is...
It's a fighting game by NetherRealm Studios, which is I won't say they're my favorite studio, but they're definitely top 5.
Mortal Kombat.
I love everything they touch. I think they're great. I've been a fan forever. Um, anyway, so they created Injustice, which is basically a fighting game with DC heroes and villains. And the first one was actually really good, but I only like played through the story and then I was kind of done with it. Whereas Mortal Kombat, I kind of stick with it for a while because I like all the fatalities, I like all the secrets, all that. So with Injustice, it was a little bit quicker, but I still enjoyed it. The second one, though, and again, I haven't played it a lot because I actually haven't really been in the mood. But I started the story. It's really good, which is weird that I'm not in the mood. It's really good. The combat's really fast. Like, it's definitely faster in the first one. Um, and the best part of this is my favorite part of this, and this is what I did, like, the first 30 minutes I had the game, all I did was go in and, like, mess around with my characters because every character is upgradable. It's got heavy RPG elements when it comes to like upgrading your characters. So each character, like let's use Batman as an example. Batman starts out at level 1 and he can level up. I believe it goes all the way to 20. That's the highest I've seen. It might go higher, but my guess is 20. Okay. And you can level them all the way up. And every time you level up, you also unlock new loot and new gear and new abilities, all these things. And so you become stronger and faster. Like I was watching a video of a level 1 Batman fighting a level 20 Batman with upgraded equipment and all that stuff. And you can actually see, even though it's like the same punch, they do way more damage. So it's really cool how they've mixed in the RPG elements, plus just the customization. It's really cool to be able to change your characters like you can. It's really in depth. It actually got me thinking as I was watching this. I was like, one of the things Mortal Kombat was doing, or what NetherRealms was doing with Mortal Kombat, and this is where the story mode started with. They, in one of them, and I don't remember it off the top of my head, one of the Mortal Kombats, they started as like an RPG. Like they actually had kind of an open area. I won't say open world, open area, and you could go from place to place doing tasks, and then whenever you would get into a main area where you're maybe ran into a villain, you would actually go into a Mortal Kombat fight. And that's what I'm hoping.
So you're actually moving around? Is it like a 2D platforming looking thing as you move around?
Well, it's like a 3D world. It's kind of like, think of like Final Fantasy's like Overworld. Mm-hmm. It was a little more detailed, but it's not that much. Wow. It's actually very ugly. This is older. This was like on the PS2 and Xbox. Again, can't remember the Mortal Kombat. It might have been Mortal Kombat Deception. It might have been the one before that. But anyway, so it was one of them. You could tell they were getting into RPGs and they were trying to create like these bigger games than just being a fighting game. And so it got me thinking that while I like these story modes and I do think they're cool, I would absolutely love it if NetherRealm took like maybe just another side studio with their best guys, while the other ones make regular Mortal Kombat and Injustice game. I would love if they made like a Mortal Kombat game or something like that, where it was a big open world RPG with side missions, main missions, but the combat was fighting in like a 2D platform, or 2D world where you're actually doing that type of fighting with maybe have a character with swords like The Witcher or something like that. So I thought that was really cool if they ever went in that direction, but that does seem like the direction they are kind of going in. But it's real good. Again, I haven't played a lot, but I definitely am going to play it through, and I'm going to enjoy it. I bought the $100 version, so I'm going to invest time in that. The game I mainly want to talk about, though, is a game that I started last night, and that's The Surge. I was kind of on
like
the fence.
The drink, like the Mountain Dew counterpart.
Yeah. I paid $60 for an energy Mountain Dew type drink. But
Surge was nasty. Did you ever have Surge?
Oh, it was disgusting, and they still sell it. I saw somebody drinking it. I don't remember what it was.
No, I think they just saved it because I don't think anyone sells it. So
I think they do sell it. I think so. Oh, I think it was like Alan Walker or Bill Ted posted like a picture of it and saying how much they loved it or something like that. I don't know.
It's so bad.
But it was. So I started it. This game is supposed to be. A lot of people describe it as like a Dark Souls type of game. it's more Bloodborne than it is Dark Souls. Yeah, you can block, but it's definitely they are the creators of Lords of the Fallen, which was definitely a Dark Souls type game. And I think what they did is they did pretty good with the Lords of the Fallen, but now that I've beat Dark Souls 3 multiple times, played Bloodborne, stuff like that, when I went back to Lords of the Fallen, I realized how bad it was. And I don't mean like it's the worst game ever, but the movement was not very good. It wasn't very tight. It was really real loose and real sluggish.
Gotcha.
Which
Okay.
I didn't notice before I became like a Souls fanboy. So anyway, so I bought this game even though I was kind of on the fence because I was a little scared because I'm like, if it's like Lords of the Fallen, I don't want it. And I, so far, again, not real far into it. I'm only 4 hours in. I'm real hooked, though. It has a lot of customization. I'm really into these games where I play them. It's almost like I'm sucked into this Destiny loop with everything. And I did this with Mass Effect Andromeda and all these type of games, where I just play them just to get better gear. And so that's kind of what I'm doing here. Before I even fought the first boss, I leveled myself up to a level 30, which is pretty high. And I was just going in circles fighting the same guys, unlocking every shortcut. Like I unlocked like 4 or 5 shortcuts. And I was just basically checking every nook and cranny that you could check, trying to find everything to upgrade my character. But I want to say this. This is what I like about this game the most, and none of the other games that I played, like Dark Souls, Bloodborne, and Neo, did not do this. The hook that I like about this game is, let's say my character's got a pretty good armor, but his headgear is not real good. One of the things that you can do is you can lock onto certain body parts of each enemy. So they have the 2 arms, the head, the body, and both legs. And so you can tell the game, you can be like, I want the right arm, or I want the head. And so you'll latch onto the head, and then you start fighting the guy, and you just basically beat his head. And you can go into the slow-mo, basically kill cams, where you'll cut off their head, and then you can take their equipment. And so it's a way to upgrade and modify your headgear, or if you're working on a right arm or a left arm, you can keep doing that. So every enemy you fight, you can keep doing this. You can tell it, I want to chop off the right leg, and I'm going to keep getting these right leg parts until I can create a really heavy-duty, real strong leg. So it's real
So it
cool.
combines 2 of your favorite things. It combines looting and extreme violence.
Yeah,
Right
and the
together.
combat's pretty good. I'm not gonna say it's as good as Bloodborne or anything like that, but it's pretty quick. So far I like the weapons, I like the movement. Don't care about the story, and it's honestly that's of no importance to me in this type of game. I'm playing it for that, just the fun of conquering these tough enemies, and some of them are pretty tough. The first boss I fought, I died a couple times, and then once I figured out what I had to do, pretty easy. But that was the first boss. But this game, from what I've read, like all the research I did, it's not really about fighting bosses, whereas Dark Souls and Bloodborne are all about defeating bosses. This is more about just conquering the entire world, or the entire game. So every enemy's a little bit more difficult than your average Bloodborne or Dark Souls regular enemy is. And I have ran into a few real tough ones. In fact, I ended it
Do you
on...
feel like it's a good enough step up from Lords of the Fallen?
Oh, yeah, it's really good. It's reviewing pretty good. Like I said, very fun to play. I love the RPG elements. Love the upgrading. It's got the same system as Souls and Bloodborne as far as your what it's called is well, now I can't remember. But you basically collect materials and for upgrading. And if you die, I will say this is kind of annoying, but it's challenging. That's why it makes it annoying. But one of the things is if you die, you lose all your material, whatever it's called. I forgot what it is. And like a normal Bloodborne, Dark Souls, or even Neo, that stuff sits there and waits for you. And as long as you don't die, you can go pick it up again. So let's say I had 5,000 material, I die, it's waiting for me. Well, in this game, there's a timer. So, and this happened to me twice. I was just exploring the world, and I got lost. Like, I didn't know where I was. I'm like, I don't know where I'm at. And I died with, like, over 5,000 material. Now, in the beginning of the game, that's a lot. I could have leveled up, like, 4 times. And so I died, and they give me 2 minutes to go find it. And so I'm running through, bypassing all these enemies, not realizing that you actually get more time if you kill the enemies. So there's a tip for you guys. If you die and you're looking for your stuff, kill enemies, it gives you more time. Well, anyways, in the beginning, I didn't do that. I was running through, and I lost like over 10,002 deaths and material because I couldn't find my stuff. I was completely lost, and there's a timer, and when that timer goes off, you can no longer grab that stuff. So that's different from the Souls.
Brutal, man.
Yeah, that's different from the Soulsborne type games, and even Neo. It's not permanent. You have to get there in that time limit. If you don't, it goes away, whether you're alive or not.
So, that's pretty brutal.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm going to beat it. I obviously enjoy these games. I beat Neo, I beat Dark Souls 3, and I beat Bloodborne. So I like these games. I like the hook that they have. So I plan on playing it, but I still want to finish Zelda. I still want to finish Injustice 2. So we'll see. But so far, I really like it. 4 hours in, it's a really good game.
Seems like good timing for a game like The Surge to come out. I mean, it's not the most well-known game. I mean, not many people are talking about it, but enough are talking about it. Maybe it's one of those, kind of quieter times during, in between major releases. Maybe it's a good time for it. So
yeah,
remains to be seen how that one ends up doing. But cool. I think that's the closest thing we have anymore to like a mid-tier.
Yeah, that's what I was actually going to talk about. That how we used to have the I would say like your B movie. Level video games. I would say this developer, the games that they release would be like your B movie. They're not.
Well, that publisher, Focus Home Interactive, if you look at their list of games they've published, they very much fall in that same THQ, Midway, Acclaim type of bracket when those companies were all still around. So, yeah, I could totally see that comparison. I think they do kind of make that B movie level, which isn't bad. It's just a different level of expectation and what they're able to deliver, because you just kind of know, all right, this isn't a Naughty Dog team, or this isn't someone from BioWare.
Smaller teams, smaller budgets. It's one of the reasons why I like supporting them, because the more money I give them, and I'm making an assumption here, the more they're going to invest in getting better. And if they can do that, who knows? Maybe one day these guys will be releasing a game, and IGN and all of them will be like, this is better than anything that From Software has ever released. So, I keep supporting it as long as it's quality. In my opinion, it is. I get people's gripes on Lords of the Fallen, but so far, again, I'm not very far. Maybe the thing gets repetitive. Maybe it just gets stupid. Right now, they've nailed gameplay, and I even like the world. I like the little open area I'm in right now, and even though you keep circling through it and doing the same thing, it never gets old to me. I like it. You get better every time you go through it.
It's too bad that that nice thought you just had about supporting these kind of developers doesn't carry over to some of the smaller developers that make awesome games.
Oh, like Thumper,
like
AKA Thumper. Trash is trash.
Yeah, no. You're wrong. All right, let's talk about a few things of news that have come out this week. Nothing big. I know last week we went over a lot more, but there's a few things. One that Derek added to our list here that he really cares about, and I'm actually pumped about too. And one that I just last night was catching up on news from this other game, so I wanted to share a few things about that. So, Derek, you first. What is the big gameplay video you were able to watch this week?
Yeah, they did a big reveal on Destiny 2. It was pretty cool. It felt like E3, which I liked. They did a whole show, and they had a whole audience there. A lot of Destiny fans there. A lot of presentations, a lot of gameplay video, a lot of talk of the improvements of Destiny 2 over Destiny. One of the things that got me laughing is they kept saying, "We've got more cutscenes than Destiny's ever had before." And I'm like, well, that means you have 5. I mean, that's not a selling point, guys. But they kept talking about that. Even one lady who I guess is like a developer or something, she was like, and there's more people talking to you during the campaigns. I'm like, guys, stop saying this. You're basically saying Destiny's campaign was trash, and you're
And
now
now we're
trying
doing
to
basic stuff.
Yeah, we talk to you more. I mean, so it was just funny, some of the stuff they were saying. But overall,
Yeah, I mean, I saw that. I didn't see the whole presentation you're talking about, but I did watch the video, kind of that the shortened version. I don't know, it was 2.5 minutes or something like that, where they showed a bunch of gameplay intermixed with some cutscenes and things like that. So I didn't watch all the footage that's now out there with Destiny 2, but what I did see was enough of the actual gameplay, the fast-paced action, the improvement to the visuals, the enemy types looks like they're introducing, and some of the guns and stuff, and that game looks amazing. I mean, Destiny 1 was already a pretty game.
Yeah.
Anyone who says otherwise is lying to you, or they had a bad TV or something. Destiny 1 was a pretty good-looking game, and it played silky smooth. And so if they can deliver that same experience with Destiny 2 with a bunch of improvements, I'm really hoping for some level of depth with the gear type improvements, maybe some skill set improvements, just some tweaks to your stats as you level up. I'm hoping they add some RPG elements to kind of deepen that experience, because it really is an MMO type of a game where you're playing with others and grouping up and running quests and doing raids and all that kind of stuff. So they should really add deeper levels of MMO style level up abilities. So I'm looking forward to it. That gameplay video looked awesome. It looked really
the
good.
gameplay looks fun. I think the one thing that got me more excited about anything else that they showed or talked about would be, there was a part where they were talking about how they had new planets and all these new areas. And I don't think it's open world like what you would expect from like a GTA 5 or something like that. But it's like open area, and I think it's like a bigger area than maybe we got in Earth, like Russia or something like that. And one of the things I liked about it is they're like, you don't have to go back here to go to back to Earth to do this mission. You're basically in this area. Like, I'll just say Russia, even though that's probably not in the game. But in Russia, you can, everything that's part of Russia, all the side quests, main quests, what's those stupid things that you used to do? Those beacons, those little side missions. Forgot what they're called.
I can't remember what they're called. Yeah, I know what you're talking about, though. Yeah.
But basically everything that's in that world, you can just do it while you're playing.
Yeah.
You can unlock it and do it. And there's a bunch of like hidden areas to find loots. They were talking about like treasure hunts and stuff like that.
Talking about the patrols, by the way, is that what those
That's
were?
what it was. The patrols. So they're like, you're still gonna have patrols, but you don't have to just. You know how you'd have to select like a mission and it would be a patrol mission. So when you would go in there, all you really could do is patrol missions. They're saying that's gone. You're in that area, everything's open to you. You can do patrol missions, you can do side missions, main missions.
Because that was such a funky system.
Yeah, so it feels like what they're doing is they are now making it like, for instance, I'll use Mass Effect Andromeda as an example. Mass Effect Andromeda, when you're on a planet, you can do whatever you want in that planet. And I think that's what they're doing with Destiny. They're saying you and your squad or you by yourself can do whatever you want in that planet. And they're also making, it sounds like you can do randoms for everybody, or for everything. So if you want to do strikes, we're already, you could play with randoms. But all the things that were cut off from randoms is no longer. They've got it set up where you can do everything. So if you don't have a group of friends or you're missing players, you can pull in random players that are looking to do the same missions as you and stuff like that. So it's really cool, some of the things that they're improving on to make, I think, this Destiny way better than the first one. So I'm obviously really excited.
Yeah, I'm excited for it. I think this game has the potential to be one of those dark horse Game of the Year candidates if they deliver, because Destiny 1 was a lot of fun, and if they can bring Destiny 2 that same level of fun and really just upgrade everything, then that could go from a game that was somewhere in a 7.5, close to 8 range overall. It could really bump it up a couple notches there. And, yeah, I'm looking forward to it quite a bit. Cool. All right, well, the other piece of news this week that I wanted to highlight was earlier this week there was a Nintendo Direct focusing completely on ARMS. ARMS comes out in almost exactly a month. Kind of interesting that they are dropping a major console exclusive in ARMS right during E3. I think that's a pretty smart move. Not a lot of companies do that. A lot of times you'll see like a demo, or maybe like with Fallout 4 you had the little Fallout Shelter mobile game, or they'll have something smaller that they say, hey, it's available right now. I like the idea of when everyone's buzzing about video games, have a major game release. I think that's really smart by Nintendo. So anyway, ARMS is coming out. So they had this Nintendo Direct. Did you have a chance to watch it, by the way?
I watched a little bit. I'm kind of interested in ARMS, but I'm not interested enough that I wanted to sit through all that. Like I watched a little bit and I was like,
Okay.
might buy it. I don't know. I haven't decided.
Yeah, 22 minutes was a little bit long for what they ended up showing, but they really, I think, kind of opened the doors completely for what's going to be in this game. I think we all have a pretty good idea now of what the experience will be like. They showed the main menu where you have a 10-fight Grand Prix mode where you fight through to be the champion. That's your single-player, quote-unquote, campaign-type mode. It seems like they've got a little bit of silly lore going on there with why certain people have this gift of stretchy arms or whatever. And so there's going to be some kind of probably Street Fighter 2-esque quote-unquote story, but I don't think it's anything to get really excited about, but I do think it's nice to have a single-player mode. Then they have a number of multiplayer modes. They have a number of different, almost reminded me of Rocket League, different modes where you can, anything from you have to dunk the other player into a basketball hoop, so they have some sports modes like a volleyball mode. You can do 2-on-2. They had a couple different, and there's like hit the targets as fast as you can from one side while your opponent is trying to break all the targets from the other side. They had a bunch of kind of mini games or spin-off games, similar to what Rocket League does with their games. So that looks interesting. But what really caught my attention was the combos that you can do with the different arms. So there's 10 characters now. Each of them have 3 specific arm types that come with them, but you can mix and match any arm type with any character. So you've got characters like Springman, they've already talked about, Ribbon Girl, Ninjara, Master Mummy, Mechanica, Min Min, and Helix. They've already showed those 7. They revealed 3 more, and I believe this is the final roster for the launch of the game. That includes Twintel, who's kind of like a Hollywood actress, and her hair is actually the weapon instead of her arms. Her arms are just like, she's just got her arms crossed or she's waving as her hair does all the fighting. And then there's Bite and Bark, which is a robotic policeman and his dog, and the dog actually has a single arm that he will punch on his own while you have your normal fighter. And then there's Kid Cobra, who looks pretty cool too. He's like a reality TV host or something like that. So anyway, very colorful, very creative. Remains to be seen if this game is fun, because the one thing that's become very clear is that you actually do have to have the 2 Joy-Cons out as if they're Wiimotes and, moving and twisting and but the amount of depth they've added, everything from the boomerang style of throws to the rockets to the way you can block and dodge and use your specials, I'm very interested. And I'm not a big fighting game fan, but I'm interested in this because it looks like it could be very simple fun.
Yeah.
The kind of thing like Rocket League is very well executed but simple fun. I'm hoping this is very well executed but simple fun. Think Punch-Out. I really loved every version of Punch-Out that I played. Maybe this is going to be somewhere in that Rocket League Punch-Out realm of, yeah, it's the same thing over and over, but it's fun. So I'm hoping that's the case. They also announced that there's going to be a live, what are they calling it, test punch. They had the test fire with Splatoon. This is the test punch for ARMS. That's actually this coming weekend, so May 26th, 28th. You can go on the Switch eShop, download that so you're ready to go. And then the following weekend, June 2nd through 4th. And I do believe it's going to be just like Splatoon 2, where you have like maybe an hour or 2 at most, these little windows on each day to play. It won't be 3 straight days of full access. So keep that in mind if you've got a Switch and you want to try it out. I think you have to download that and then sign on during certain times of the day. But give it a shot. I mean, it's the best way to find out if it's worth your money or if it's worth, waiting for some kind of sale or something.
Yeah.
So give it a try. And then they also announced there's going to be free updates after launch. They're going to continue to add new fighters, new stages, and new arm types, and that will be free. They're not going to, at least not right now, ask for any kind of DLC buy-in. You can just have it if you own the game, which is kind of cool that they're adding that stuff. So there you go. There's all the ARMS stuff. You already shared that you're kind of interested but holding out. I am now more interested than I was before. I feel like we've kind of swapped places. You seemed more interested than I was at first.
Yeah, I was going to say that.
And now
when they
I'm more
first
interested.
did the Switch announcement and stuff, I was like, this is cool. I'll definitely buy it. And now as we get closer, I'm like, will I play it though? Because, I mean, if you're not noticing, my trend is I'm just not in a gaming mood right now. So, I don't know. We'll see. As it gets closer,
I'll
probably get it.
I think this one could be fun. I think I'm probably going to get it. pretty early on, and I plan on buying the yellow Joy-Cons with it, so I can have another set of those.
Those are pretty cool
I'm
looking.
forward to that.
But I
those
really
look
wish
cool.
they would have done like a special edition like Zelda. I'm such a Zelda fanboy right now because of how good Breath of the Wild is. If they released anything like that, I'd be like, yep, done.
Yeah, I mean, maybe this is just me not understanding what it actually takes to roll out different colors of your product, but why not Zelda Joy-Cons? Why not Mario Kart specific Joy-Cons? I'm not really sure why they've not done that, other than maybe their hands are full just creating Switches. Maybe that's all they can stand to produce right now. But I don't know. I don't know why you don't. They got all these gray Joy-Cons sitting on the shelves. That's the one thing when I go to the store, I see an entire shelf full of gray Joy-Cons. Yeah. No one wants them. Yeah. So put out some of your colorful Joy-Cons and let people buy them, because I would have purchased the Zelda ones or even the Mario Kart ones by now. Even though they're expensive, I want 2 more. So if you give me some kind of special themed kind, I'm probably going to get them. Yeah. So anyway, I'll probably get those yellow ones with arms. So cool. All right, thank you guys for listening to episode 72. We're going to wrap it up now, and we'll have the second half of our conversation next week when we talk about summer gaming. So be sure to tune in then. Thanks again for listening. See you guys later.
Who is your daddy? I am the father.
You fathers will understand.
My father taught me many things.
I got an idea. How about you all sit there quietly while I make dad noises?